Better get that tattoo gun warmed up, Robbie. And so many subscribers are so eager to see your brand new tattoo, man. Right after posting yesterday's video, boom, new stock dropped down like crazy. Lowest point it got was like 8.3-ish. Whew, I just had to load up. And if you watched my video yesterday, you would have known that $8 is my buy range. And I did indeed buy in. So this video is going to be my expectations going forward. We're going to do some technical analysis, and also I'm going to share with you guys NIO's plan for global domination and their strategy. It's pretty straightforward, but you guys got to understand what it is. So that's going to be in the latter half of this video. Boom, so here we got TradingView. We can see NIO has already rebounded back to $10 a share. Man, that's crazy. You know, yesterday I wasn't expecting such a violent price action. I knew yesterday's price action was going to be violent, and I was expecting that, hey, we were going to maybe like fizzle around and then drop down and hit this trend line. But what happened was yesterday we hit that trend line instead of like taking a few days to do so. So man, we hit that trend line, and this, as you can see, we got the previous lows. You know, they formed this beautiful trend line all the way over here. And man, just had to load up, man. Just had to load up. And that was my cue. It was extremely oversold. And my long-awaited price target of $8 that I've been calling for since March. So many people have been calling me bad names and saying shit to me like, hey, you're retarded. Telling me, hey, you're dumb. You're mofo. Saying bad stuff to me. And, you know, I still held out with my price target. I'm like, hey, it's going to 8 to 10-ish. And finally it came to fruition. So it's not in the sense that I'm like happy that NIO has dropped down to 8. It's more in the sense that I'm relieved that I was right all along. And that the haters, well, they're just still haters, all right? So what can we expect? Well, in my opinion, NIO has just been oversold to a crazy extent. I mean, like, this price action has whipped out a lot of weak hands. So unless it's those like big whales and those people buying, a lot of nervous people, they have sold the stock. So what I think will happen is hopefully, this is what I highlighted in my previous video, is that we rebound off here, which we already have, and then hopefully we get up to around 15-ish, 17-ish, somewhere around that area. This is where I'll be looking to take profits, and I'll be very transparent with you. The economic situation in China isn't getting better. This would be more like a bounce kind of trade, and I'm definitely, even though the long-term prospect of NIO is really good, but the short, medium term, for me personally, I feel like there's going to be more risk involved. So there's more danger, in my opinion, all right, this is my opinion, not financial advice, is that if NIO stock gets up to 17 and 15, I mean, I would probably take a big amount of profits just because I'm really worried that we're going to drop down further and even possibly below 8 and even down to 5, something like 5, because in my previous video I highlighted that, you know, my purpose, my whole entire thesis for why we might be going to 8 is, first of all, the downtrend, and also because we had this big unfilled gap here. And then if we look down here, we also got that big unfilled gap. And with the current economic situation in China, which is absolutely terrible, you know, I wouldn't be too surprised if we, you know, after this bounce, we went down further. I would not be surprised. Yeah, 10.18, 10.19, you see now we got a lot of FOMO chasers and FOMO buyers coming in. They're confident now that, hey, the short-term bottom is probably in. Now it's time to buy in. Yesterday's price action is oversold, and then we're also going to see very soon the MACD cross over to the bullish side. So the blue line crossing above the orange line, and when that happens, we're going to see a nice rally. Yeah, and then RSI also extremely oversold, so we'll probably get that to stabilize like a bit more. So yeah, that's it for the technical side. We're going to talk a bit about NIO's not so secret plan for global domination, and it has something to do with what's happening here in China. Before with EVs, we were always worried about range anxiety. Does my car have enough range? But as batteries tech progressed more and more, range anxiety has become, how do I get to where I want to go without charging? Because charging is such a pain in the butt. And what we're seeing right now here in China, which is very, very interesting, is that during Spring Festival, and this is the one time of the year where everybody gets vacation. And a lot of times, during that time, a lot of Chinese people, they visit their hometown. They leave these big cities like Beijing, Shanghai, and they go to their hometown. Sometimes they drive. And what we see is that during these holiday seasons, the charging stations at highway resting areas is just completely overwhelmed. The problem is obviously there's not enough chargers, but you can't just place more chargers there because there's not enough space. It's physically, the resting area is just physically a smaller area. So it's impossible to place more chargers. So what ends up happening is you got these super long lines of people lined up to charge an EV. And you got these EV owners just lined up, one behind each other. And sometimes the lines are super long, like 3 to 6 hours long. And you know, some of these EV owners, they said they don't even dare take a piss, because if they do, then they come back, you know, all of a sudden there's a few more guys in here and they gotta go to the back of the line, and now they gotta wait another 3 to 6 hours for the people in front of them to get, you know, to charge their EVs. Bro, they can't even go take a piss, man. And they even fight for the chargers, man. They get into physical fights. And here's where NIO comes in. Right? NIO has these swap stations on the highway resting areas right next to these chargers. And while these guys are waiting in line, pissing their pants, trying to wait for the charger, they see NIO come in, swap, go. NIO come in, swap, go. NIO come in, swap, go. What the hell, man? So this has actually created a marketing effect, in a sense, for NIO. And this is actually further compounded when a family member owns an EV, but another family member, a close relative, owns a NIO. So what happens is both of them, they want to go back to their hometown. It's a long drive. They're both driving. One's driving their NIO, one's driving their EV. And then they stop at the highway resting area. The EV guy needs to charge. The NIO needs to get a battery swap. But what ends up happening is the EV dude is just waiting in line. The NIO has already swapped and gone his way. When the NIO owner gets back home and the grandparents are like, hey, where's your cousin? The NIO owner's like, oh, my cousin's still lined up at the charging station. And this creates an effect that some EV owners, like the Mercedes EQS or the Taycan owners and all these guys with their EVs that are actually more expensive than NIO's, but they know of NIO and their swapping system, when their friends ask them about, hey, do you recommend buying a Porsche Taycan? They say, hey, you know, Porsche Taycan is great and it's all nice, but when it comes to charging, you know, I had to wait in line for 3 hours at the charging station. That kind of sucked, but hey, there's this other brand, NIO, that is just swap and go. So what you see here, ever since NIO's core strategy for swap stations has shifted from not only city-centered swap stations, but also highway swap stations. And these swap stations usually have a big QR code on them that you can scan to get a test drive, etc. NIO has gained a lot of market awareness. People know about NIO. And this is going to be NIO's defining strategy heading into Europe. They're going to be placing a lot of these swap stations on the highways, the autobahns, so that when EV owners are charging and they're like, ah, crap, this takes so long, or they're waiting in line for a charger, they're like, oh crap, this takes so long. They see a NIO come and go, see a NIO come and go, see a NIO come and go. Whoa, maybe I should have gotten that car. I hope you liked today's video. Please check out any one of these awesome videos. Stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.